Shalom, shalom. I'm back today. We're gonna with the attitude of gratitude. So this is day two. I hope I don't lose track of the days because I know me. So the 5 things that I'm thankful for. I don't know if you guys got the opportunity yesterday to start thinking about or deciding whether you guys were going to go ahead. And I told you guys y'all gonna get the face I got. So I'm in the middle of my skincare routine. This is a rose quartz, so just helping to relieve the puffiness and dark circles, keeping them away, warding it off. So that way you guys know what it is I'm doing in my skincare routine. But attitude of gratitude. I hope you guys decided to take this journey with me. Um, I hope that you did your 5 things that you were grateful for on yesterday. So something I did just so I could be more on point because I lost count, even though it was on 5. It was only 5 yesterday. So I made some little numbers so that way when I do one, set it to the other side so that I know I did my 5 things that I'm grateful for. So thank you for joining me on this journey of the attitude of gratitude in order to just welcome those things that are for you and also being grateful and thankful and operating in a attitude of being grateful for the things that you do have, the blessings you do have, recognizing the blessings you do have. A lot of times we don't even recognize the blessings we already have because we're so much focused on the things that we don't have that we don't see what we do have. And another way that people realize all the blessings they do have is when something that they're normally used to having, they don't have it. So, for instance, if someone breaks their leg, then they start to appreciate when they were walking more when their legs were at full capacity and full movement. They appreciate that more when they broke a leg. Or when you're suffering from an illness, then you start to realize how much you appreciate it or you're grateful for good health. You're grateful to be able to breathe properly. You're grateful to be able to see properly. Um, so just giving you guys some insight as to why I have an attitude of gratitude because a lot of times we're so busy looking at what we don't have that we do not appreciate the things that we do and we don't seem grateful for the things that we do. And as a parent, and you guys know that, the holiday season just passed. And as a parent, you know that children are having all these things that they want to have. I give you a list of things that they want to have. And you're looking at all the things that you already provide for your children, for your family. And you do want to hear that they're grateful for the things that you've already provided for them. And so this is just like the same thing of letting our Father know that what we're grateful for, letting your Creator know, letting your higher power know, however you look at it, letting my Father know what I'm grateful for already. So that way, if a child is grateful for what they have, are you more willing to bless them with something else or less willing to bless them with something else? So operating in that attitude of gratitude, and I'm truly am grateful for the things that I have. So the first thing that I'm grateful for today is being here and being able to do this, having the capacity to do this with you guys. So that's the first thing I'm grateful for today. The second thing that I'm grateful for today, and which I was thinking about this morning before I got on, like, what am I grateful for today? And just being able to, and just one of the scenarios I just talked about, just being able to walk, because there were times in my life where I could not walk, where I had challenges walking, where I was told by a doctor before that I would probably be in a wheelchair for the remainder of my life if I didn't do certain things. So if I kept going the way that I was going because I was pushing my body to the limit. So that's why self care became so, special to me, why it became a mission for me, why it became a business for me, because I know so many people do not take care of themselves because they're always looking at what is the next thing they need to do in order to provide for those around them. So, definitely, if you have not been taking care of yourself, start taking care of yourself. Because if you are not taking care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody else. The third thing that I'm grateful for. So I've been trying to spend some time with my daughter and get some just uh, self care things done with her. And self care isn't always a spa treatment for me. Self care is prayer. Self care is meditation. Self care is writing out your list of goals. Self care is taking care of your financial goals. Self care is making a budget. You know, what your savings are going to look like, what your spending habits are going to look like, stuff like that. So for me, self care is more than just um, what you physically do to your body, what you're taking in to your body, but it's also different, the whole gambit of what you do to take care of yourself. So yesterday we started out, we didn't get finished. So I told her, I said, we're going to write a list of 300 things that we want from God this year and be specific. And so I started writing down my numbers on my page, and I was writing it out, steady going from page to page, just kept writing numbers. And my daughter was like, Mom, why are you steady writing numbers? You focused on the wrong thing. You should be writing down what you want. So then I said, okay. And she started writing. I stopped at 100, and then I started to write in what I want from God for this year. So I told her it's from, now until next year, what it is that you want. So start writing down things. And so she was like maybe at number 5. And I was like maybe at number 10. And she's like, how are you writing these things down so fast? And I said, well, I've been thinking about it already. I just got a chance to explain what it is that we're doing to you. But I had already been like thinking about it, but definitely be specific. So as we kept writing the list down, she's like, how are you getting so many things wrote down? I said, I'm asking for everything. I was like, I want great teeth. I want fresh breath. I was like, anything as simple as that. You could think it's simple, but everybody don't have fresh breath. So if you want that, then that's what you should say that you want from God. So then as we're writing the list, another thing that she said to me was she was like, "Oh, so this is almost like writing a Christmas list." I was like, "Writing to Santa." I said, "Well, it's actually better than writing to Santa because God can provide everything you need, anything you need and want." So that was like funny to me, but I was like, wow, writing a list of what you want you know, to your father, writing what you want, like making it plain, writing it out. And so I know that most people I've talked to that have done this, which is written out everything they wanted, all the things they needed. And another business owner told me that she came to me one time and she was like, T, you got to write out everything you want to do in your business. She said, I started writing out everything I wanted to do in my business. And everything that that wrote down that I wanted to do in my business, it has happened. So if you're having a disconnect in your life, in your business, in your personal life, in your finances, in whatever it is. That's not saying you don't have to put the work in, but write it down. Look at that list and read it. Go back to that list and check it out. So put it in a place where you're going to remember where it's at and you're going to look at it. Like you're going to be able to see that those things that you wrote down, you're going to start to check off on your list, especially if you're putting the work in. It's going to happen for you. And so I believe that. I wrote some things down. I didn't do it in the manner that I wanted to do it. Well, I wrote things down and I always have a to-do list. If I think of something, I usually have a notepad by the bed so that way, if I think of something in the middle of the night or something comes to me first thing in the morning, I want to write it down because that's when I get, my best thoughts, my best ideas, and things that I could implement or do or pivot and shift so that, I can see the difference that it makes in the brand and in myself. So I thought that was interesting. That was real cute and funny. But I did enjoy it. I was like, yeah, this is like writing a list. You know what some people say, writing a list to Santa. But if I write it to my father, if I write it to God, I know it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. So because God is in a blessing business. And we have not because we ask not. If you haven't asked for those blessings, you haven't prepared for those blessings. I give God something to bless. And I'm always working on giving God something to bless, and you want to bless those that he can get blessings through. So be a blessing to someone else, and God is going to bless you. And that's always happened to me. So another thing that I thank God for um, is my relationships. My relationships with the people that I have great relationships with, and even the people that I don't have so great relationships with, because um, and I have this weird thing about me, and I don't know, somebody else may have the same thing, that when you encounter a non believer, and I don't mean a non believer like they don't believe in God, but a non believer in the way that God works. Let's just say like that. Um, I It gives me fuel. So that gives me fuel to keep going and to show them how God works by demonstrating it through my life. So whenever I'm told that I can't do a thing, and I just look at that person like, okay, it's gonna happen. And you're definitely going to see that it happened because you're a non-believer. And that has happened on so many different levels. And maybe I'll get to tell you guys a couple of stories of different things that have happened to me as time goes on. But yeah, that has happened. And right now I'm operating in that zone right now because I was recently told, you can't do that. And I was like, well, why can't I do that? And they didn't have a reason of why I couldn't, but they did tell me I couldn't do it. So once it happens, I'm going to let them know, like, yeah, now you see it can be done. So please don't ever tell anybody what they cannot do. Because as long as there's a will, there's a way. As long as that person believes and commits to it and they put the work in, God's going to bless them and they're going to come out on the side that says complete. So if you're struggling in something, pray about it, get your mind right, and go for that goal. Have tunnel vision. Don't let distractions get in your way, because distractions are the things that challenge you to decide how bad do you want it. And if you want it bad enough, you're going to go and get it. You're going to go get it. That's one thing that I do know. You're going to go get it. Because if you want a thing bad enough, ain't nothing going to come in between what you want. So the next thing that I am grateful and thankful for, so just this attitude of gratitude is a great way to, get my day started. So I told you guys I'm an early person. So the only time I ever do it late is if I got a full day or something like that. But we're going to carve this time out for this attitude of gratitude. It'd probably be a different time every morning, but it's going to be in the morning. That's the goal. So, and hold me to it. So the next thing that I am grateful for is today I have the opportunity. I'm going to have two meetings with um, some people that I'm going to collaborate with and start to do some partner with. So I'm excited about the two meetings today, and I am grateful for just my name, my brand coming up in someone else's mouth, saying, I think that this is a good person that you should partner with. I think that this is someone you need to know. I think that you guys would be a great fit for each other, because a lot of times, as we know in the service industry, even though we have social media, even though we have AI, even though we have cold calling, even though you can buy a list or something like that to start to accumulate, passing out business cards and all that type of stuff. The best way for you to get connected to your next client, customer, guest, the best way to do that is by word of mouth. So word of mouth is still the top way of gaining clientele. It's still the top way of gaining relationships with others. And we always hear that saying, it's not about what you do. Who. It's all about who you know, not what you know. So who do you know? Who's in your circle? Be intentional. And I've been very intentional in these past couple years of what circles that I decide to be in. Let you decide who you're. Even as an adult, sometimes we have to go back to like what we were told as teenagers and children. Like, you decide who your friends are going to be. You decide who your network is going to be. And as we know, our network determines our net worth. So if you're talking about you want to become a millionaire, if that's your goal, then you need to surround yourself around those people who are in the same thought process, working towards becoming millionaires, or they should already be millionaires if that's your goal. If your goal is to be the best in an industry, then you should be surrounding yourself around the best in the industry. And in order to surround yourself around the best in the industry, you may have to buy a ticket to a couple of events where the best in the industry are going to be until you are in the network. And that's just how that works. So surround yourself with the people who are going to places you want to go. Don't surround yourself around the people who are not going to places that you want to go. Because if you're around people that are going nowhere, guess where you're going to go? Nowhere. So I just know sometimes we need a reminder to surround ourselves, and I'm speaking to myself too, around the people who are going where you want to go. Surround yourself around the people who are going to encourage you, who are going to uplift you, who are going to pour into you, and do the same for those people because it's a network. And when your brother or sister falls, then help pick them up and dust them off and encourage them to continue on. And that is always helpful when you're in a network because every day is not going to be a great day for you. And you're going to need some encouragement. You're going to need to be loved on. You're going to need to be inspired. So I hope that you have your 5 things that you had an attitude of gratitude for today. And thank you for taking this journey with me. I hope that I've said something to encourage you today so that you can push forward. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the attitude of gratitude. I love you, and I hope that you have been loving on yourself. I know that you're going to go out and you're going to do some things today, and all that I ask you to do when you go out and do those things, just don't do it ashy. So get your ash out of here and make sure that you get you some hand crack, which was one of the sponsors of the show. Make sure you order your hand crack today so that way you can get your ash out of here and you can be out here smooth, silky, soft, and supple. So make sure you looking good and feeling good. I love you. Have a great day. Shalom.